Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to Missouri Star Live.
Oh, we are back in our, home away from home. Some of us, we've kind of got a skeleton crew here today, trying to make the best of it. And as usual, some technical difficulties seem to be arising. And so we thought we would be able to reach our friends on Facebook and YouTube. And it looks like YouTube is not cooperating today for some reason.
Yeah, that's right. There have been issues with trying to get those to play.
Yeah, we don't know what's happening, but we'll do the best that we can, and we're so happy to be spending a little bit of time with you. Jake is home with the kiddos today since so many of us are have kids out of school and are doing some self-isolation, but we are officially out of quarantine, so we are happy about that. And so we're trying to find a little bit of normalcy in our routine and keep everybody as safe and distanced apart here. So we, like I said, have a skeleton crew. Our great helper Mary is working from home, and Jake's home, and so Cole is back there on the mic today. So bear with us, give us a little bit of slack, and we appreciate all of you being here and handling this crazy time together. It's all we can do is get through it together. So we appreciate you.
And
so
as much as we wanted to be able to do this with Misty going live from home,
yeah.
when you live in a small town,
yeah,
you're limited on your internet bandwidth.
It's true.
Options.
We just don't have a lot of options, and so we just decided let's disinfect the whole studio and keep it as safe as possible. And so the guys took care of that yesterday, and then I'm really happy to be here today in a space that has become, a part of my life, and I look forward to visiting. So it's good to be back. So let's see where we have some people tuning in from. We have Kathy from Alabama. Pamela, thank you for being here. Karen from Scotland, welcome. Debbie from South Carolina. We really, really appreciate all of you guys tuning in and spending a little bit of your Tuesday with us. And we have a really, really fun project for you. Before we get started, since it is the last day of March, I wanted to point out this fun, I don't even know what we call it. What do we call these calendar planners, monthly planners? This is a free printable that we offer here, and it's just full of some good ideas and some quilty inspiration. And so this is for April, so you can print that out. It's in the description, and it can get you going for the month ahead. And it's got some really fun recommendations if you've got 5 minutes, 5 hours, or 5 days to kill. And we all have a little bit of extra time right now. So yeah, be sure to check this out. It's got a great Dolly Parton quote. I love her. It says, "The way I see it, if you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain." And it's true. So be sure to check that out. And then also we have this really, really cute pillow project that I'm going to teach you. This is using a Riley Blake panel called Modern Farmhouse. And it is really, really cute. It comes in 2 colorways. I used the black colorway, and there's actually 4 of these prints in each panel, but these are the remaining 2. Let me just show you these here. Home Sweet Farmhouse, Thankful and Blessed. This one says, "Every moment matters," which seemed like the appropriate message. And then this other one that we'll use today says, "Enjoy the little things." So I like these sweet mementos, and it also comes in a white colorway, and so you can see the whole panel here. Isn't that fun? Just really cute, nice, clean designs that kind of go with that farmhouse aesthetic that is so popular these days. So what I did is I took my panel and I cut 18-inch squares around the design, and I found that worked just right for me to kind of center up the circle. And then you can see here I used some fabric I had in my stash as my backing, since this is going to be inside my pillow, and I just did some very basic straight line quilting. This print works so well. It's got these little kind of plus patterns that surround the saying here, and I just followed those and spaced them out evenly and did a little bit of basic quilting here, and I have this ready to go. So this measures 18 inches square. And so that is step number 1. You want to get that ready. I just used some pins to baste it together, did it on my home machine. Nothing crazy, really, really simple. And so then the next step is I used this cute floral fabric for the backing of my pillow, and I cut out two 12 by 18 inch pieces. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start by pressing over 1/4 of an inch, like I've done here, and then pressing that over again 1/2 an inch. And then we're just going to top stitch down both of these. I have one of them ready to go, but we'll go ahead and take care of this one. And I just line my presser foot up so that it will catch the end of that. And then we'll just sail away. All right. So then we have both of those ready to go. We've taken our seam right along there. And now how I'm going to show you how to put this together is really great because it's going to avoid having any raw edges, which makes this super easy to wash and reuse. If you're like me and you've got little kids, they like destroy my throw pillows. They're like little peanut butter hands all over everything. And so I really like them to be durable and washable. And so I decided to do this method. And so what I'm doing is I have the right side of my pillow front facing down, and I'm putting right sides up on this crossover back. And so I'm just gonna start by doing this, just like so, and I'm just laying them so it lines up with the edge of my pillow, since that tells me how much it needs to overlap. And I'm gonna put some pins in here. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and sew all the way around this 1/4 inch just to hold this part together. So I'm gonna make sure it's pinned so I don't have too much shifting. And then we'll take this to the machine.
Misty, I think, what are updates on Jenny? How's Jenny doing?
Jenny's doing great. We're all just working on projects and trying to keep things as normal as possible. She's been sewing and doing some yard work, and we're just trying to make the most of it, but she's doing really, really great. Staying healthy. We feel very fortunate. This is one of those times where we feel very blessed to live in a small town. We're a little bit isolated from some of these crazy things that are happening in the big cities as far as the virus goes. And so we're doing well. We're following all the recommendations to keep our distance from the people that we love, as difficult as that may be, but we are doing great. Thank you for asking.
There are some perks to living in a small town.
That's right, yeah. And so I'm just going to take my time and sew around this. So this is a great time if we have questions. And if you have trouble with this and want to use a walking foot, you could feel free to do this. I didn't have any trouble at all. Just take my time, and like I said, have enough pins in there.
Skeleton crew is trying to figure out a little bit of the technical side, so I appreciate everybody being patient.
Yeah, we're used to having extra hands to help make this go smoother here in the studio, but we do want to keep as many people working from home as possible to just lower the chance of spreading this stuff. And so really all we're doing is we're just tacking this in place here. So if you want to lengthen your stitch or, not even sew the whole length, we just want to make sure that all of our layers stay where we want them. And I am just doing a narrow seam here, because when I attach my binding, like I show you in a minute, we're going to take a little bit wider seam. And so I want to make sure that it's a 1/4 inch or a little less, so that I don't have any of that poke through. Any other questions?
So, is this like what would be a good, like, could you do this with your children at home? What's the
Absolutely. Well, and this might be a fun project maybe to, bust open your stash. Really the front of it, you just need an 18-inch square. And so it doesn't have to be a panel. You can use any print that you might like to just create a throw pillow and use this exact same method. But it would be really good. You know, you might need to cover all the quilting, but the rest of it is really simple straight lines. And my kids really like to help with pressing, and so I have them, you know, help turn under and press. And so we've been doing that as we've been, you know, working together at the house. So just, I think any opportunity you have to get the kids or the grandkids involved in the sewing is always a good idea. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. All right, so we have finished up going around all 4 sides there. And I know in your mind, you're like, what on earth are we doing? Because we have raw edges exposed here, but I promise that's what we're going for. And the reason, let me show you.
Hey, Misty, what was the overlap on the back panel?
So the size that we started with is 12 by 18. So you have just about a 3-inch overlap in the back here, maybe 4. Am I doing my math right? 4. 4 inches of overlap, and it works just great. Maybe just a little less than 4 once you have your hem in there, but the size you're looking for is 12 by 18. So that's what we've done. And then next up, what we're going to do is we're going to add this fun flanged binding. I don't know if you guys can see this cute little detail. We actually have 2 colors here. It's so cute. So I've got this kind of sparkly pink and this green on the inside. And Jenny did a tutorial, which we have linked to in the description, where she added this flange binding to a baby quilt. But I think it's a really great little touch for a home decor project. It just kind of ups the quality of it, makes it look a little bit more, you know, fancy. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And it's really, really easy to do. So what you're going to need for that is you're going to want to choose what you want to be your main binding color and what you want to be for your flange. And so on this one, obviously I did the pink and the green, but I want to show you the size strips that you need out of some other fabrics because I thought it might be a little bit easier to see. And so for your binding portion itself, the part that will actually be on the outside and you'll see more of, you're going to cut a 1.5 inch strip. So I've done that with this buffalo check here, just an 1.5 inch strip. And then I'm using the green again for the flange. And on this one, you're actually going to cut an 1.75 inch strip. And I know that seems kind of crazy because you see more of the other one, but I promise you, that's what you want to do. Your flange, the part that you will see the tiny bit of, is actually the larger strip. So an 1.5 inch on the outside binding strip, 1.75 inch on the flange. And then we're just going to take this to the machine and we're going to sew all the way down, which I've already done that with this piece here. And to go all the way around this, you just need 2 strips by the width of fabric of each color. And so just 2 strips will go all the way around the pillow, so it doesn't require much at all. And so you can see here I've got my 1.75 inch and my 1.5 inch sewn together, and then all you do is press it in half just like you would your traditional binding, and you can see there that the little flange starts to peek through, and so that's what you're looking for. And so I've got this all ready to go, and now we're going to take it and attach it to our pillow. So how we want to do that is I start by flipping it over. We're going to attach it to the back, and we are going to make sure, I like to start at the bottom of the pillow, and you kind of want to check, but when you flip it around, you want to make sure that your flange that you're working for is going to show on the front. And so you do that by putting the flange side, the flange fabric up. So I know it's a little bit tricky. It's not hard at all. And so your actual binding side is going to be going down towards your pillow. The flange print is going to be up. And so we're just going to attach this how you would traditional binding by making sure we miter those corners, and we're going to take it all the way around the pillow. So let me do that.
So, Misty, would a stabilizer on the back of the pillow be beneficial at all, or would that make the pillow rough? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't find it necessary on the back of the pillow. I do like having something on the front, which is why I chose to quilt it. I think it just gives it a nicer finish on the back. It's totally your preference if you want to, but not really necessary. So like I said, I just went with just normal fabric, no extra layers or anything. So now we're going to line this up on here. I am going to start stitching right here where my my overlap is in my back fabric, and I'm going to take a little bit of a back stitch there. And remember, we did a scant 1/4 inch on our kind of basting stitches there, so we're going to take a little bit wider than a 1/4 inch now, you know, somewhere right around probably 3/8 is what you're looking for. And so that is what I'm going to do. I haven't been on this machine in so long because I've been at home, and so it's taken me a little bit of getting reacquainted. Oops. And then some back stitches there. I said I was going to do it, and then I forgot. We just don't want that to come out when we go to attach our binding later. So we're going to sew until we get to the corner, then we're going to pivot, come right off, and then we will turn, and then I'm going to fold this back so I get a nice mitered corner, and we're just going to keep sailing along.
And just as to clarify, what size pillow form?
So this would be for an 18 by 18 inch pillow form to fill inside this. And so that's, remember we started with an 18 inch pillow. I like my pillows to be nice and full. And so by taking these little bit of seams, it just makes it fit perfectly with an 18 inch pillow form. So that's what you're looking for. You're gonna keep zooming down here.
How do you pick colors for the flange binding?
So that's totally up to you. I think with this particular project that I made today, I wanted the flange to be just a tiny detail. I didn't want it to take away from the saying that was on the front. If you have a simple print that you love, you might pick a couple of accent colors that would go with it. Obviously, I wanted to pull out the pink and the green that are in the cute floral detail around the border here, and so that's how I chose it, but I also wanted to make sure it was subtle enough that it didn't detract from the pillow itself. But it's a great opportunity to use those highlight colors that you kind of want to pull out from the print that you choose. That's a great question, Liz. But mostly just choose what you like. Whatever makes you happy. All right, and pivot again. And you'll notice I'm not even cutting my thread. You can if you want, but I don't find it necessary on binding. I just try and keep it close, so I use as little thread as possible.
It looks like folks are wanting a close-up of that corner.
That corner? Oh, here, let me show you. I will trim. Isaac, where do you want me to show it? Right here? Okay, so you can see here, I sewed straight to the edge, and then I kind of made that 45 angle right out to the point here. And then I'm going to fold this up just like this, and then straight down the side. And by doing that, you can see here on this side that I've stitched, when I flip it around, it gives you a perfect miter. And so that's what we're going for. It just makes it nice and easy for you. So we're going to keep doing that. And it doesn't really matter. It's pretty forgiving. And so if you're just a little bit off that point at the end, don't fret. Just be as close as you possibly can, and it will all work out.
So you might have to repeat the questions, Misty.
Sure.
Jenny's in the chat saying that they need to give me a mic. Jenny, I promise I have a mic.
She's on a mic, yes. He is on a mic. I'm not sure why it's not working, but he has a microphone.
Is cotton thread enough for this as far as strength goes?
Oh, absolutely. I think so. I mean, again, depending on your household and how often you want to be able to wash it and how durable you want it. I mean, it'd be a great time you could swap in some polyester thread if you felt like it. But I use cotton. That's what I have at home, and that's what I've been using.
Awesome.
All right, again, approaching that corner, and I'm just gonna pivot. And so right off, I've got that little line that shows me right where my needle is, and so it makes it really easy. I just turn my fabric and line that point up right with that line, so I know that my needle will sew right to that point. Hopefully that makes sense.
Try that one more time.
So there's a little line on this machine right where my needle sets. And so that shows me, and again, I've mentioned quite a few times on my live, I love that diagonal seam tape. I'm not using it, but it has that same feature where it will show you that center point, and when you have that on the machine, you can kind of just pivot your fabric and put that point right on that line, and then you'll know you're going right off the end.
Jenny would like to know if this will hold up to a pillow fight.
Yes, absolutely pillow fight worthy.
You heard
We
it
have
first.
done some testing at our house, and it held up just fine. It literally got thrown off the balcony of the loft down to the living room and then back up again, and it made it here, so we're good.
That's some good R&D.
That's right. We're just doing all the testing we can, make sure it's going to hold up for whatever you might need to get through this time of quarantine. So I just keep making sure I've got this lined up, keep my binding taut but not too tight. I just want to make sure I don't get any waves or ripples.
So Michael would like to do a cylindrical decorative throw pillow.
Okay.
In the future.
All right, Michael, I will work on that just for you. I feel like you're being difficult for me,
Potentially.
but I will work on it. It's honestly probably not as hard as I envision it being. So this might be the time to just learn it, you know? It's a good time to try new things. All right, and one last pivot here. Okay.
So do you flip the corners before you flip the binding?
Do I flip the...
Like, I'm assuming on the miter corner.
I flip it all at once as I go around. So I'm not really sure. Like I just flip the whole thing and start binding. Is that what they're asking?
I think so.
I think so too. Hopefully I got that.
I could curate better questions.
Oh, you're good. No. All right, and so I'm just gonna, I've kind of got a thready mess there. Hold on, I'm just gonna trim that because it's stuck on my presser foot. There we go. All right, we're just gonna go down here. I'm gonna leave about 6 to 8 inches so I have plenty of room to attach my binding together, and I'll show you guys how to do that because I think for a lot of people that's the scariest part of this flange binding, and it is no need to fear. So let's just cover that now. All right, so we've got it attached all the way around. You can see here it looks really, really great. And so now all we need to do is close this up, and we're going to do this just like we would with any standard binding. Even having this seam in here, we don't have to worry about it at all. It functions exactly the same. So I'm just going to trim this off a little bit, and then I'm going to trim off a piece from here. And this is what I use as my overlap guide. So I'm going to line this up on the edge that I've trimmed. I'm going to have this overlap just like so, and I'm going to trim my other piece of binding to match. That's a little long. I'm going to do that one more time, just like so. All right, and so that is the magic that I know that this needs to overlap. And then now we are going to open this up, right sides together, and we're going to put it just like so. I like to put a pin in here just to keep it where I want it. So right sides together. This is the trickiest part, is just getting it to stay where you want it, but it is not hard. Just take your time and make sure it's lined up. I'm going to put a pin at the top, make sure I'm square here, and put a pin at the bottom. If you want to give yourself more room to make it a little easier, you absolutely can. There is no right or wrong way. I just, Want it to be as close to done as possible. And so then now we're gonna sew from this corner here, make sure you guys can see, from this corner here to this one here. And we're gonna keep that as straight as possible. So let's go ahead and mark so you guys can see what I'm shooting for here. And this one slid a little bit, so let's pin that again because we want it to be right on. So there we go. Pin that again. And then I just kind of set my ruler in here, corner to corner. There's that corner, there's that corner. Take any pin, draw that line, and that's exactly what we're going to stitch on. So we're going to take that to the machine. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and back stitch just to be safe. All right, there we go. And then we'll take those pins out, and we want to open it up to make sure we got it. But ta-da, look at that. Matches up just right. You don't have to fret at all. So then now we can open that up and we can trim off that excess since we know that we got it the right way. We'll just trim that off close to 1/4 inch. And then we can pull this flat and finish attaching our binding. Okay, any other questions? Did you guys see all that? Okay.
I think
we got it?
I think we got it.
All right, good.
Somebody would like to know that the name of this machine is different than the Accomplish that they've seen previously.
Right, yeah, so this is the Baby Lock Jubilant. The Accomplish we absolutely love. That's what I sew on at home. The Jubilant is a great machine. It's got a lot more stitches. Remember, the Accomplish is just a straight stitch. You only need a straight stitch for this, but that's just what is on set today. So it's another great Baby Lock.
Missy, your mother has dropped in to let you know that she loves you.
Oh, thanks, Mom. Love you too. All right, and we're gonna back stitch a little bit there, and we are done with that. So now, another reason that I really like this flange binding, oh, I got real thready on that, on my back stitches there. Let me just trim some of that up. We'll just clean that up. No problem, that's all gonna get hidden. All right, so another reason I really like this flange binding is because it's super fast because you do it all on machine. And so usually I hand bind, and if you so desired, you could loop this around and stitch it by hand. But I just like to take it to the machine and finish it up there. It makes it really, really quick. Again, I always start at the bottom of the pillow, so in case I do have anything that's gonna be, you know, a little less smooth, it hides down there at the bottom. And you can match your threads. I just used white thread. You can see here, hopefully. I just used white thread, and I sewed right there where the pink and the green meet. I just sewed right along that line, and it kind of forces that green to pop up a little bit. And I can go ahead and start doing some stitching on that if we want to show it. But it is really, really easy. Again, just line that needle up with where those two fabrics meet. And we're just going to zoom along a little ways.
I don't think anybody's noticed the new mat.
Oh yeah, it's pretty nice, huh? We do like this nice big mat. So as I'm getting down here, Isaac, can you see this at the machine?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see here, this is laying really nice because I took the time to do that mitered corner, and so I've got this pulled just like this, and before I approach this corner, I'm going to keep that nice and tight and fold this over, and I'm just gonna make sure that my corner stays so nice. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it looks so great.
We've got a good view.
Got a good view?
So
okay.
We do want to flip that corner.
Yeah, so I just,
Yeah.
exactly, I kind of pull it straight like this, and then I
Like
fold,
a nice 45
a nice
degree.
45-degree fold, and then it just flips up, and they just line up so beautifully. And so then I use that as my kind of guide for where I want to stop my needle with the needle down and pivot. And so then now that's what I've done here, and I'm just going to turn, and I can just continue down the other side. Super, super easy. And I'm not going to finish this whole thing. Let me just backstitch there since I'm stopping, because I'll want to finish it eventually. But I want to just show you guys. So I'll just go ahead and pull this out from under the machine right now. But you can see it turns out so nice, and it's so simple, and it's just a really fun little extra ooh-ah to add to a pillow or a quilt that doesn't require a whole lot more effort. So that was it. I just wanted to give you guys a chance to learn a new skill. If you haven't tried the flange binding, you absolutely should. It's really easy, and it turns out so cute. And I love these panels from Riley Blake. They have really great little positive messages that we all could use these days.
And then what was the background fabric on that?
It's all Riley Blake.
It's all Riley Blake.
all the modern farmhouse collection. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep, that's what we used. So it's been really great. And the thing that's also super awesome, once you finish this binding, you're not going to have any raw edges, even on the inside. So when you throw this in the washing machine, nothing's going to fray, nothing's going to unravel. It's going to hold up so great. So you'll love it.
That's what I worry about sometimes when I buy throw pillows, right?
Yeah.
Is whether they will hold up.
And a lot of them won't.
Yeah.
A lot of them won't hold up to washing, but this guy will. It's nice and sturdy. So, and pillow fight approved. That's right. So
I say I worry about it. My wife.
your
worries
wife,
about it. Yes.
I'm sure, is more concerned than you are, Cole.
I have minimal concern.
But anyway, I hope you guys are hanging in there. I hope you guys are taking the time to create and try new things, because truly being creative can totally be healing, and it's been the thing that's keeping us going for sure at our house. We're doing lots of projects, sewing lots of things, painting lots of things, and yeah, it just helps brighten the day. And so hang in there, keep on keeping on, and I hope that we're here for you if there's anything we can do, and we appreciate you so much. Are there any other questions before we wrap up?
Nothing immediate
pressing
or urgent.
Awesome.
Yeah, so, okay. No, there's nothing of immediate urgency.
Perfect.
So,
Thank you guys so much. Thank
thanks,
you so much
everybody.
for all you do. Stay safe, and we love you.
We'll be back next
See you
week.
next week.